Have you ever felt that you don't belong anywhere, as if they were always on the sidelines, as if everyone had a defined role, but you, as if your life were invisible, your pain ignored, your faith too silent to be noted? Listen with the Spirit, not just with the ears. You are not invisible to the sky. You are not random in God's history. You are not a mistake on the wall. You are a living stone, a note in the eternal symphony of the kingdom. Revelation 21 reveals to us something that many ignore. 12 precious stones form the foundations of New Jerusalem, each with its color, its shape, its brightness. But what few understand is that these stones are spiritual messages. They are not there for aesthetics, they are there for meaning. The sky does not build with bricks, the sky builds with living stones. And you, yes, you were chosen before the foundation of the world to be one of these stones. The devil tried to convince you that your life is worth nothing, that your story makes no sense, that your pain is useless. But listen, God writes with cuts, God composes with tears, God builds with the rejected. The stones of heavenly Jerusalem were revealed to John as a spiritual code. Each gem represents a tribe, a path, a process, a revelation. And this is not just about the apostles or about Israel. It is about those who let themselves be polished, even when everything hurt. It is about those who are faithful in silence, in rejection, in the dark night of the soul. You are not any stone. You are a unique note in the stone symphony that God is composing. And before proceeding with this deep revelation, I ask you, like this video now, so that this word reaches more souls wounded like yours. Comment down here, I am a living stone, if the Spirit has testified with you. Subscribe to the channel, because here God has called you to a journey of revelation. And share it with someone who perhaps forgot that there is still a place reserved for him in the eternal wall of the city of God. Because if you're listening to this, it's no coincidence. It is because heaven has decided to whisper your value in the form of a stone, in the form of glory. It is not just stone, it is testimony. It is a message sculpted in silence. It is pain transformed into color. The 12 stones of New Jerusalem are not adornment, they are silent prophecies. They are living symbols of the marks that the Holy Spirit recognizes and honor. And here is the truth. Your pain has a name. Your pain has color. Your pain has sound. Each stone represents a tribe, but more than that, it represents a process of God with its own. Jasper, who gleams with a translucent firmness, points to those who needed to stay firm when everything crumbled. Sapphire, blue as the clean sky after the storm, speaks of the soul that learned to trust, even without seeing. Chalcedon, an obscure and varied stone, represents those who passed through confusing phases, but did not give up on faith. Emerald, living green, he speaks of healing, renewal, of what seemed dead, but flourished again. Have you ever wondered why your story is so full of contrasts? Why was the abandonment so cruel? Why were the dawns so lonely? It is because God was drawing your stone. You are not getting lost. You are being cut. You are not in pieces. You are in sacred cut. Every tear of yours was collected. Every silence of yours was recorded. Each hidden delivery was written with light at the founding of the eternal city. When John saw those stones, he did not see just beauty. He saw people hiding in the stones. He saw stories told through brightness. He saw wounds that became glory. You have a color, even if the world sees you as gray. You have a unique form, even though they try to force you to fit in broken molds. You have a place in the kingdom, not because you are perfect, but because you have persevered to be true with God. Today, the Spirit asks you, what is your stone? What was the fire that forged you? What silence did you build you? No longer despise your trajectory. The rejection of men becomes a heavenly foundation when delivered to the altar. You will not be remembered for what you have lost. It will be recognized for what God allowed to form in you, while everyone looked at you as a gross stone. Keep watching, because in the next few minutes you will find that this pain that almost destroyed you is the same one that is building you in the sky. Have you ever watched a wall made of stones? Each is unique. Each was positioned with criteria, carefully, with intention. There is no randomness in building something eternal. There is no chance in God's architecture. In Revelation 21, the foundations of New Jerusalem are not made with cement or clay, but with 12 precious stones, each symbolizing the union between heaven and earth, between promise and fulfillment. Now listen, God does not stack, God chooses. The world packets like numbers, functions, tasks. Society pushes people to structures in which they become unnamed pieces. But the sky is different. The sky builds with identity. You are not number, you are fitting, you are a project, you are intention. The wall of New Jerusalem is spiritual, yes, but it reflects an eternal principle. God separates every stone, shapes, cut positions, and seals with glory. You may have been discarded by men, ignored by leaders, despised by those who have not seen your essence. But God saw you on the floor, washed you in silence, kept you in the secret, and is based on something eternal. You are not in faith by chance. You were not attracted to God by emotion. You were called before you are born, separated before speaking, prepared before suffering. When God builds, He does not work with excess. He works accurately. Each stone has a reason to be there, and that includes you. You have been prepared to fit into a place where no one else fits. You are the answer to a space in the kingdom that could not be filled by another soul. And even when you feel disconnected, confused, no place, it's because it's not time for final placement yet. But it comes. And when you come, you will understand why so many doors have not opened, why so many relationships have broken, why so much waits. It was God preventing you from being stacked, because to be a stone in the founding of the eternal city, you need to be unique, not copied, not diluted, not mass. If you feel you don't belong to the system of this world, it is because you belong to the foundation of the coming kingdom. Do not fight to fit where God called you to be an exception. Do not begging acceptance where the sky marked you with separation. You are not any stone. You are a divine placement in the building of eternity, the New Jerusalem, the holy city, adorned as a bride for the Lamb. There is no temple. It has no sunlight. There is no night, because the Lamb is the light, because God is the temple. This confronts our heart, because we love to build our own temples. We love to create spaces where we are the center, and often we want God to only bless the stage we set up for ourselves. But the city of God only begins when our ego ends. John saw the glory come down, but he did not see human thrones, ministries with names, churches with signs. He saw a glory where no one else shines beyond the Lamb. Now listen with fear and brokenness. If you want to be a stone of the city of God, you need to go down. Go down from self-image. Get down from human expectations. Descend from the need to be recognized. God does not build vanity. He builds with surrender. How many times God wanted to use you, but the ego still shouted? How many words from heaven were aborted because your flesh still required to be seen, heard, applauded? Eternity cannot be built on pride. The glory of God cannot be reflected when the glow is still sought. The walls of the wall are precious, but they are silent. They don't talk about themselves. Do not shine for themselves. They only support the glory of what is above them. This is your call, to support the glory of Christ, not yours. You feel it was called. You feel that you carry something spiritual, but there is still noises, desires of recognition, hunger for position, lack of approval. It is not condemnation, it is a holy confrontation. The city of God can only be built on lives that died to themselves. As long as you fight for control, God will not be able to build with you. But when you give up, it will make you part of the kingdom wall that will not be shaken. The sky has no room for rivalry. New Jerusalem has 12 foundations, not 13. There is no room for dispute. There is room for delivery. If you want to be used by God, be hidden. If you want to carry glory weight, embrace humiliation. If you want to be placed on the eternal foundation, get ready not to be applauded here. The city of God begins. When the altar is clean from ourselves, when what remains is only Christ, and then yes, you will be positioned forever. You have prayed to shine, but it has resisted the chisel. You have asked to be used by God, but complains about each cut. Listen with broken spirit. There is no glory without cut. There is no gemstone in the kingdom that has not gone through fire, isolation, pain. The foundations of New Jerusalem are stones, but not any stone. They are precious because they were shaped, cut, adjusted, wounds transformed. This is what heaven does to those who love, lapida. You think what hurts you is rejection, but it can be cut. You think you are being forgotten, but it is being prepared in silence. You believe you lost, but in fact, God is removing what hid your true brightness. A gross stone can have value, but only after being cut does it fit the foundation of the eternal. It is not your current form that makes you fit. This is what God will still form in you through what you do not understand. Stopping hurts because it breaks, but she doesn't destroy. She reveals what is hiding. You pray, Lord reveals the purpose, and he responds with silence, with time, with losses, with confrontations. But the language of heaven is this: to cut is to love. You are not being punished. It is being shaped. It is not being left aside. It is being prepared for the place where few fit. Only the cuts fit into the foundations of the city of God. Only the broken in secret can sustain visible glory. Only those who endured the chisel with faith is recognized as the foundation of eternity. You may be wondering, how long, Lord? And the sky answers you, until I see in you the reflection of the Lamb. The diamond is not formed in comfort. The sapphire does not shine without pressure. Emerald does not reveal its beauty at the moment. They are the result of time, depth, and fire. You are not being forgotten. You are being worked on. Because heaven does not see you as any soul, sees you as a foundation stone, as a note in your symphony, as eternal brilliance. So don't resist treatment. Receive the chisel as a sign of election. Allow the Spirit to break you so that it can fit you into the exact place where your existence will reveal the glory of Him. Keep watching. There are still deep revelations to be released. What God will speak at the next point can change your vision of who you are. You got used to the dust, but the sky sees you as precious. You cringed before men, but God lifted you into the secret. You have silent to survive, but there is a hidden call screaming inside you. Yes, screaming. Not with words, but with pulsations, with those tears that you swallowed, with that emptiness that is not explained, with that feeling since the childhood that you have been separated. You are more than the trauma you carry, more than the environments that tried to silence you, more than the eyes that diminished you. You are a hidden stone in the field of God, hoping to be unearthed, not to be displayed, but to be placed in the eternal foundation. Make no mistake, God does not choose the ready. God hides the chosen ones. Joseph was thrown into a well before using the ring. Moses fled to the desert before lifting the staff. David was forgotten between sheep before wielding the crown. And you have been cut in silence because it carries a call that doesn't fit in human showcases. New Jerusalem stones were not born as they are. They were formed by the pressure of time, the Creator's hand, the persistence of the promise, and that is what is happening to you. You have already looked at your trajectory and thought, why is my life so marked by cuts, losses, and silences? Because you are being formed as a response from God. You are a hidden call, a living intercession, a flesh response to someone's cry. You are the fulfillment of an ancient prophecy that will still manifest with power. But before it is used, you need to be understood. Before being raised, it needs to be broken. Before speaking, you need to hear God by naming you again, and He calls you that chosen stone, prayer foundation, bearer of glory, prophet of the secret. Do not despise the hidden years. Do not curse the deserts that shaped you. They were the womb where God formed you as a witness to eternity. You may have been found in the dust, but will be seated as a living stone in the eternal building. You may have been called weak, crazy, broken, but heaven calls you precious, separate, revealed. God is renamed you today, and in doing so it's repositioning you. You will no longer be what the past says. You will be what the glory of God decided on you before the womb. Continue to the end. The next topic is the seal. It is the call. It is the sound of heaven that confirms everything that has been said. You have come here, and this is not common. It is not distraction. It is no chance. It is a sign. It is an answer. It is confirmation. Thousands start videos. Few remain. But those who remain to the end are those that were touched by something that is not human. And I tell you boldly in the Spirit, if you heard everything so far, it is because the sky is separating you, not for an ordinary ministry, not for a religious life, but for an eternal construction. You are not spectator. You are a living stone of the city of God. You are part of something that will not be shaken. You are a hidden response, a prophetic foundation, a silent witness to the glory of the Lamb. God has been cut you for years, in silences that no one understands, in processes that no one has seen, in tears that the church ignored. But heaven recognized you, and today the Spirit confirms you are part of the foundations of New Jerusalem. It doesn't matter if your gifts were forgotten, if your heart was betrayed, if your fidelity was despised. All of this is being told as brightness in your stone, and now you need to do something. Surrender completely. Renounce their own plans. Say, "Yes, sir, I use my life as part of your eternity." No, there is time to resist more. You were not called to be stage, you were called to be foundation, and the foundation holds in silence. But in the sky, it carries the greatest weight of glory. So if this word has burned in you so far, declare publicly now. Comment below. Gratitude. Gratitude for God to see you. Gratitude for Him to work. Gratitude for making you a living stone in the heavenly city. Enjoy this video like a testimony seals. Share with someone who has also been separated and still doesn't know. Subscribe to the channel, because here you will be remembered your heavenly identity. Here we don't talk to crowds. We talk to those who were chosen to carry glory, even in silence. And never forget that you are not just someone going through life. You are part of eternity being prepared in flesh. You will not be remembered for what you have achieved in the world, but from what it sustained in God. I see you in the construction of the kingdom. I recognize you as the stone of the eternal, and I call you, in the name of Jesus, to the place that heaven has reserved only for you.